Celestine. How you doing?
Good morning, Elisa. I am awesome. How are you?
Good. How's our boy Eric? Is he there with you?
He's been with me all morning. He's all excited. He says, "Hey, Mama, I love you so much. What's up?"
Oh, I love you too. But I hear Celestine has a story about you.
I do. He's with me a lot, and I'm very grateful for that all of the time, even in the times when he plays jokes on me. So he always gives me ease in the clouds.
Oh,
No matter where I am, sometimes there are multiple E's. So I was having a little bit of a rough morning, and I went outside and it was cloudy, and I said, "Eric, I guess you're going to have to show me another way, find another way to show me your love."
mm.
But I've been in this state for 9 years, and there's a gas station that I have never noticed something before till that very instant. So I turned my head, that very thought, that very instant. Maverick, spelled Maverik.
Oh, how cool. Erik.
Erik. In 9 years, I never noticed that.
Was it the name of this of the gas station?
Is Maverick.
Oh
And
my
in the
God.
last end of it, it's not spelled
Eric.
ICK, it's spelled Erik.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, Eric, you went above and beyond.
He
So,
really.
what do you want to talk about? I hear we're going to talk maybe about codependency. He,
Mom, that's great. I've been waiting to talk about this, and I'm excited. Let's start and open the conversation.
let's do her. Go for it.
Okay, so there's a lot of different reasons for codependence, Mom. And generally, what happens is, we come here to forget that we're wanting to learn all these things that we're supposed to. So when we get here, a lot of people just feel very lonely and very singular. And the codependence comes in when they need to lean on somebody. Well, there's a lot of people that have contracted for this. I mean, because you want to know what it's like to feel separation.
Yeah.
And that's what you come to, experience here. The problem is when you get stuck and realize that there's something else, this is not me. Why can't I make them?
Dang doorbell. Oh.
It's all good.
Oh no. Oh. Okay.
You're right.
I've got to pause only, not stop.
It's life. It happens.
It happens. Life happens. Okay. The lawn people came and want me to put the big dog, Michelle's big dog, in his kennel, so he won't be eaten alive. All right. So where were we?
I'm always glad for the lawn folk coming. All right. Okay, babe, pick up where we left off. Okay. So what he's saying is, we make these contracts to come here to feel separate. So we know what it's like to feel a part of the whole, the absolute wonderfulness of not being separate. That's the illusion. And we come here to determine what that illusion is, right?
So the illusion is separation, right?
That's absolutely the truth.
Okay, got it.
But we have to come here to experience that. The problem is some people get stuck in that separation. They can never feel at one with anything. And hence they look for other places to go. Now, codependence, Mom, can be with a lot of things, not just people and relationships, there's a lot of aspects to that. And what I'd like everybody to look at today, and why we're talking about this, is I want you to realize that you came here for the separation, to know that you're this beautiful, incredible being that came here to experience everything and take it back to source energy. However, you get into that dependent relationship, and instead of thinking for yourself or discovering for yourself, you have to rely on other feelings or somebody else for that. And that's the whole purpose of this, is to learn how to rely on yourself, right?
Right. Well, so wait, back up just a little bit. You said there were all sorts of different types of codependency. I think I'm codependent on Bella. Bella, where are you?
Mom, that's exactly what I was talking about.
But what else can you be codependent on? Can you be codependent on something that is not a person or a life form? Can you be codependent on, say, a career or?
Yes, absolutely, Mom.
Or your hairbrush?
Well, not your hairbrush, because it actually, you know, while it has its own energy, doesn't put its vibration out to the world other than to give you a great hairstyle.
Oh, well, I brought that up as a joke because I don't think your hair had ever seen a hairbrush or a comb.
Come on, Mom. I look great. I don't need that.
That's true.
I'm handsome without it.
That's true. That's true.
So yes, work is an amazing example of this codependence. So it's this big, gigantic circle where you are stuck. You need the money and you need to live, and you perform a certain function for that, you know, that job, and they need you to perform that function. And that, if you are solely performing that job just to impress and make people good and your money situation okay, good, then you've kind of, you're dependent on that. I want people to sit back and go, hey, I don't like this job. Let me see what I can do to find out what makes me tick.
Well, wait a minute. Does you sometimes have to take a job, like say you're a young adult and you have to have one of these entry-level jobs? I mean, you got to make money. You got to have something on your resume for the next step up. So isn't it a necessary evil sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah, Mom, absolutely, positively. Okay. So see, there's that fine blurred line where necessary evil is what we're going to call it, because you need to eat, right?
True.
But the problem is when it gets to the point where it's toxic.
That's right. And what does that look like? Yeah, what does that look like? A toxic, codependent relationship with work?
Well, they rely on you to spend every hour of your waking day immersed in whatever company business that there is. So they become dependent on you to do that and to function, all because they know that you need to eat and support, you know, your lifestyle.
So you're held hostage, and your life is held hostage.
Only in your head, Mom, and that's my point. You see, everybody, it's a perspective. You're only held there by yourself. I mean, they're not chaining you to your desk or to whatever. It's fear that holds everybody.
Oh, yeah. What if you can't find a better job? What if the next, at least this is the known, you know, maybe the next one will be worse. Maybe I'll go bankrupt and I'll be homeless, and yeah.
That's absolutely.
But there is abundance. That's another illusion. Separation is an illusion. Scarcity is an illusion.
I agree, Mom. I absolutely agree.
Well, of course you do. You taught me that.
I know. Well, I'm pretty smart then, ain't I?
Yeah.
No, he says. Okay. So yes, absolutely, positively, and that's what we came here to do, was demystify that illusion. And we get so stuck in it, and that's where the codependent comes on, because we can't change our attitude to see that there is the illusion of scarcity. When you're grateful for everything, there is no scarcity, and then you attract more great things. So while I want to talk about this codependency,
I think it's a matter of having faith in yourself too.
Oh, Mom,
but people are too afraid to have faith in themselves. But
absolutely, and that's where the fear.
Faith in yourself.
All about fear.
I think faith in yourself is, and I think I'm just channeling this from Erik. It's a stepping stone to self-empowerment is having faith in yourself.
Your baby's over here going, "Go, Mom! Woo, woo!
Hey.
She's channeling me! Yeah, woo, woo!" He's having.
Hey, it's what I do. You taught me. I'm mostly cognizant. I don't.
He says it doesn't matter how it comes in, Mom. I'm just glad you're getting it.
Okay.
But yes, self-confidence is a huge thing with codependence. It's such a complicated thing, and it's individual to everybody. Are you codependent on a partner, an animal, a job? For codependency, obviously there's got to be two ways to the situation. So I want everybody to first come to the point where separation is the illusion, right? Mm-hmm. So we're never separate, but we come here to figure out and take back our experience. And that's where we get lost again. Yeah. So I can't do this by myself. I need your opinion.
Well, isn't that okay to do sometime?
Oh, absolutely, but not when it's your go-to for everything.
Yeah.
So some people won't even make a decision as to, the easiest thing, like what do they want to eat for dinner?
God dang it, is something else happening?
It's okay.
Hey, Nick, is somebody at the door? I gotta peek.
It's okay.
No, it's okay. Sorry, people. I'm sorry. Please don't send me any hate mail because I don't read it anywhere. So whatever. But go ahead.
So, Mom, part of the big plan that we come here for is to realize who we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are we with respect to source energy and everybody else around us?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know that until we know, who we aren't.
Ah.
When you're so lost in everybody else's opinions and thoughts, you forget who you are and you forget why you came here. And that's where the problem starts. I want everybody to know you're beautiful beings. They came here for a beautiful and specific purpose. Everybody. Nothing is by accident. I want you all to know that you can do this. Source energy doesn't send you here and say, good luck with that.
Mm-mm.
They'll give you the tools along the way to figure out how beautiful and bright your light can shine. And that's what this is all about. Everybody's starting to realize their own beauty and their own strength and their own power and stand in it.
That's all so well said. So eloquent, my baby boy. Now, why couldn't you write English compositions like that in high school? Huh?
Because I didn't know then what I know now, Mom.
I know. So, is there ever love involved in a codependent relationship?
Slow down.
Rein him in, Celestine. Rein that boy in.
Well, I forget if he talks too fast, because I forget.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he says, at codependence, it's always the basis of love. But you want to understand, is that self-love? Or is that love for not having to make up your own mind or not having to take responsibility for a situation? So you want to look at that. So when the basis is love for yourself, you can work it out. I just want everybody to know how strong and wonderful they are. I want the next thought to be, I've gotten this far. Yes, I can.
Of course. Self-love, I think, is the foundation for all love, at least in the human experience. So say you have a codependent relationship with your husband. Does that mean there's no love there? I mean, there's no self-love maybe, but can they still be in love and be codependent with one another?
Oh, Mom, absolutely, positively.
Is it always two-sided, like one is taking advantage of the other and vice versa? Or can a person be codependent on somebody without the other person doing anything wrong? I don't know what else to say, but yeah.
Well, yes, absolutely. They can be both codependent. They won't make decisions without each other. You have one who won't make a decision at all until the other one gives, and vice versa. So, this all plays out to whatever you've planned before, whatever you want to take from this experience.
Is it ever a spiritual contract to be codependent? Is it something to be learned learned there?
Always, always, always a
Okay.
spiritual contract that you've set before you even got here.
Okay. What makes people grow up to become codependent? What are some factors, like in their childhood or otherwise?
So there's a bunch, and Mom, it's absolutely the childhood that rings true for so many. And a lot of times, parents will do. I'm not saying everybody's a bad parent and talks down to their kid. Sometimes parents don't even realize how what they say affects their kids and how the kids feel about themselves.
And what
Right?
about the ones that don't raise empowered kids, that do everything for them, that rescue them from disappointment, from frustration, from conflict, from chaos, etc.? Will that create is that the perfect primordial soup for growing a codependent person?
Not only a codependent person, but someone who is completely and totally unable to cope with life
No, that's
as
not
it's
good.
given to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's never, something that I would recommend. But hey, if that's what you chose, go for it, man.
Yeah.
What you're looking for. So yeah, that parent-child thing is huge. So Dad said, "Oh, you didn't get 100 on that paper. It's only
Uh-oh.
a 98." And the kid goes, "I'm less than. I didn't do so good." And that's where the seeds of less than start.
That's
It's
terrible.
really,
What about schools? Do
oh, Mom,
schools
we've talked
contribute?
about this how many times. Schools are severely lacking in
Yeah.
teaching kids to their ability and what they need to learn. I won't say that the kids are codependent on the schools, but I think the schools are codependent on the political system.
Ugh. Yeah, I have a problem now with my 9-year-old granddaughter who, I really think needs testing. She's got some memory issue, but the school won't do it because they don't want to spend the money, I guess, whatever. And for Michelle to hire somebody privately, they can't afford it. So, but she passes. I mean, she does okay, but I know, and this is what schools don't realize, that there is a gap between achievement and ability and full potential. I mean, if a kid, if their potential is way up here but they're achieving way down here, that gap needs to be addressed.
Mom, I
Michelle's
understand.
giving up. She's like, oh well, she's a late bloomer, she'll grow out of it, but I don't know. I mean, then if they don't achieve to their potential, then the self-esteem gets hammered.
Absolutely. And that's part of the less than and the codependency, because kids feel that way in school too. Not only the parents, but the teachers. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Our entire system is messed up, Mom. I don't want you to worry about Arlene.
Does she need testing and so she can get modifications, or will she be okay? Is she a late
It'll be
bloomer?
okay, but let me tell you that it's going to take a little bit of work between you and Michelle. You don't need to hire those expensive people. See, she thinks differently like I did. She
Mm.
learns differently. Just like me, she is my twin.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to convince Michelle. We've hit a wall. Like, don't interfere, Mom. So I don't want it to come to blows. So, in other words, now I have no say so. She's not going to get testing. So, my question to you, Uncle Eric, is without modifications, will she grow into her own and be okay, or will she struggle?
She's going to have a little bit of a struggle first, but she's smarter than I was in that she can adapt.
Oh, she can adapt pretty well. That's true.
All right. She can adapt. So I don't see anything there, but Mom, you can help without Michelle even knowing.
No, I'm going to. I'm going to work with her over the summer.
That's exactly what she
Summer
needs.
school, so and one of her best
Exactly.
friends too. All right, um, so what else? What about peers, siblings? I guess they can contribute to codependency, right? And if so, how?
Any relationship has the proclivity to be codependent. Let's say human to human or human to animal, not something non-animated.
Yeah.
Right, so sister to sister, twins are huge.
Oh, I bet. I didn't. Yeah.
There are so many that can't function without each other. And hey, that may be what they came here to experience.
Oh.
A big, huge.
Hey, maybe in another life they were very codependent in a destructive way, and now they're here to really, surmount that obstacle.
Yes, and also it could be the opposite, that they were so far apart from anyone in singular that they want to experience that close relationship.
I see. Okay. All right, that's cool. So, is there any good? I know there's no good or bad, but you have to make it a human thing here. Is there any good kind of codependency? I mean, like, I love Bella so much. That's not hurting her life, and it's not hurting mine.
Yes.
How could you not love a face like this?
I know. Mom, I love her so much. she sees me all the time.
I know. Anyway, she just got a bath.
She smiled too.
All 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds now.
He does like this under her chin.
Aww.
He says, no, I wouldn't call that codependent, Mom.
Okay. That's just love.
Right. It's just pure love.
She's my emotional support.
Mom, if you didn't feed her or pay attention to her, she would still love you. That's unconditional love. That's not codependent.
I know. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. All right. Are there any other types of codependent relationships besides with, people, work, anything else?
Erik, I never thought of that. Holy crap. He says, yeah, with yourself.
Oh my God. That is so weird because that came right into me.
Yep.
And I thought, I heard, with yourself, but then I thought, no, this is impossible. But go ahead, tell me.
So, Mom, how
narcissist? Is that narcissism? No, go ahead.
Well, that's part of it, and that can be part of it. But think about this. There are so many people that have that gene, that obsessive compulsive. So, when you have these thoughts and you go, okay, so if I get here, then I'm going to get here, right? You're codependent on yourself to make it to the next step.
I understand, because when you were restarting your computer, I went out to get my mail. I saw a weed. And I had to pick it up. And then I saw another weed. I had to pick it up, and another weed. It's like, oh my God, I just got to get back for the computer. So yeah, I will stop my car if I'm going on an errand, getting out of the driveway. And, oh my God, a weed. So, and one time I forgot to put the brake on the car when I did that, so I had to slam on it. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so OCD is one way, and narcissism.
And narcissism.
How does that work? Like you have to stoke your own self-esteem by believing you're just the end-all be-all?
So narcissism is this whole other psychosis all by itself. And when you think about it, people with narcissistic tendencies have to have a codependent relationship with themselves, because not everybody will play into what they're putting out there, the energy they're putting out.
I see.
So codependency for a narcissist is, I look pretty damn good today.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah,
I look good. I can go on, right?
Yeah. That's funny. Okay, what about borderline personality disorder? They have this, fear of abandonment. A lot of times people with borderline have a history of being abandoned, but that's just a really awful mental illness. It's very difficult to treat. Is that a kind of codependency?
No, I want to say that people with that kind of personality disorder is a chemical issue.
Okay. But they are codependent, right? I mean, maybe it's chemically derived, but is there some sort of codependency that's involved? Because it's like you're either hero or zero with people like that. They just throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you do one thing wrong, you're dead to me, that kind of thing. And they don't like to be left alone.
Right.
They,
Yep, and that takes on its whole other persona. Part of it is chemical for some people, and it's always going to be, codependent when they're that needy.
Okay. Uh, what can each side do? The one that's dependent on and the one that's depending on.
So, all of this opens up a conversation between the two when one notices that it's not a healthy thing. And peaceful communication is always the key. So, if you are coming into this conversation and going, well, you do this and you make me have to do this and you make me ask, that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to write things down beforehand and come at a peaceful situation and say, you know what, I've noticed these patterns in our relationship and I'd like to discuss them because I think we can have a better relationship.
You know what my sister sent me, and I maybe in preparation for this great, it doesn't take any time, well, it does take time, but 10 minutes of your time to do this attachment style quiz. If you look up attachment styles, and it's Diane, Diane, Poole, Poole, Heller, Heller. There's the avoidant dismissive, there's the secure, there's anxious, something or other, I can't remember. There are 4 types, and it'll give you a percentage of what you are of each of those and why you're like that, what could have happened in your childhood and all that. So I think anybody who has a relationship really should do that quiz, and that could really help you understand each other, especially if both partners in a relationship take the quiz. All right, so go ahead, though.
Absolutely. And he says, because there's things you don't even realize that you do and about yourself until those hard questions are asked. And yes, that's a great thing, Mom, as long as you don't rely 1,000% on it. That's all.
Oh, no, of course not. No, Terry's boyfriend took it, and then at the very end, he said, I think the last half of the test, I answered everything the opposite. It's like, okay, that's not good. But anyway, that's another story. So what else can you do? What about nonviolent communication? That book is supposed to be awesome.
That's an amazing book. And Mom, so is yours, the one that you wrote.
Oh, for kids, but it can be used for anybody.
For anybody, honestly.
Hearing is believing, it's called.
So the other thing that's really going to be the best way to help the situation is to, this sounds kind of harsh, whip out your cell phone. And when you're having this negative conversation or this, and take a picture of each other or take a video of this interaction between the two of you. And then break it down. Watch it and break it down, because a lot of times you're going to cringe at how you acted or reacted, and you didn't really mean it the way it came out.
Yeah.
It just came out that way, and inflection has so much to do with how we communicate.
What about, before I go on to the next question, I guess you mentioned cell phone. I guess you could be codependent on tech, right? I went on date night. My husband and I have been doing date night every Wednesday for 30 years or something like that. More than 30 years, actually. And we saw in the next restaurant both parents on their cell phone and both kids on their iPads. And it's like, really?
Yeah, so that I won't say so much as codependent, because the cell phone won't just interact with you with no prompt, you see.
Oh, well, that's true.
Right.
That's just plain old dependency, not codependency.
Yes, that is dependency, and that takes on a whole new light where, the problems with the kids in the country today, everybody goes, why are we shooting each other, and why are there such problems, and this kid got in trouble, and look, they're all in the jail system.
Yeah.
Starts there.
Yeah.
It starts there. People, look at your kid at dinner. Put it down for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's not a long time. And I'm going to tell you right now, that 15 minutes a night that you invest in your child now will be 15 minutes times every time you do it, that you don't have to invest in things you don't want to when the kid's 18 or 20 or whatever. I'm telling you.
That is investment. It is a good investment. It's like I had this recurring daymare, you know. I dream that if I crack my iPhone screen, I have to go to the mall and let them have it for 3 hours. In 3 hours without my iPhone, what am I going to do? No, I'm not that codependent on. I really interact with my family a lot. All right,
Yeah.
so you have a lack of power on either one or both sides in a codependent relationship. So it seems like empowering both sides would be good, like sitting down and dividing up uh, areas that each person can be responsible for. Okay, you're responsible for the finances. You're responsible for the whatever. You make all the decisions, and I will not second guess it. I will not say, no, the way you're doing homework with the kids is all wrong, or no, you paying that bill, a week early, not going to happen. If you just let them have that space and own those particular what they're responsible for, would that be a good idea? Or can you name some other things that will help with the empowerment, self-empowerment, and independence of each side?
So, Mom, that's a great thing to do even before you get into a relationship with somebody where you're living together or sharing things, that you have to do that. That's a great idea. And that'll work for lots of people. The only thing is, some people, the ego gets in the way. Well, you don't do that right, and my way is the only way.
Well, you got to set the rules. Here's what we're going to do. And do you agree to never second guess my decisions? That's the only way people could feel, have a trust in their own decision making. If somebody doesn't come along and just beat them over the head about it.
Absolutely, and that takes a very mature conversation. It takes at least one person in that relationship too to realize that there's something off.
Yeah, but I think a lot of codependent couples, there is immaturity. There really is. It's an immature thing to do.
Absolutely. I want to just say one thing about relationships until.
Is that you or Celestine or Erik?
I'm still talking in my ear.
Okay.
So what he wants to say about relationships is this. Hey, when you go into a relationship for the mere fact of fun and love and no expectations, that relationship will take a very much better course. I'll call it better than if you go in and you have the expectation of you do this and I do that, and it just it has to be a combination of the two. If you feel like you're a little weak on something, I want you to know it's okay to lean on that person. That's great.
Sure.
But it's not okay when you can't make your own decisions on everything. That's all I'm going to say about relationships. If you want to be there, great. The time when you start to not want to be there, that's when you want to decide whether or not this relationship is going where you need it to. A lot of times with codependence, it just goes on and on and on because one or the other is not confident in themselves to say, I can do something better.
Yeah. That's awful. Choice, I think, is important. It's very empowering, too. What I used to do with my kids, raising 5 little kids, oh, my God. So, of course, they'd fight over videos. And so a couple of them, I want this video, I want that video. I say, okay, you choose 3 videos from the cabinet, and you choose one of those 3. So they each have some power. So choices can give people power. Or I'd say to them, so they wouldn't squabble over breakfast. Okay, what do you want today? Scrambled eggs or pancakes? I give them 2 choices, and then that empowers them. I'm making a freaking choice. Yeah, I'm just this little kid, and there's my big old mama, and I can tell her what to do.
Absolutely. And Mom, your pancakes were my favorite.
Oh. And when I made smiley faces on them with chocolate chips.
Well, and he just showed me a scene of everybody sitting at your counter. And
oh, yes, they were, all lined up. with cereal boxes.
Yep.
Even if they weren't eating cereal, they'd have cereal boxes in front of them because back then they were entertaining. They had cool stuff on the back of cereal boxes.
You have to read
and
the
they would go,
cereal box.
I want to look at the box, Erik would say. Look at the box. Look at the box. Okay.
That's a great thing, Mom, by the way. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Choices. Okay,
Choices.
so you could.
That's a great way to empower kids.
What about adults? Codependent.
And adults. I mean, but make the choices something that are attainable and something you also can agree with.
I know. Okay, what about somebody's real needy and, oh, honey, I don't know what to do about this. Then the other person can give them a choice. Well, here's a couple of ideas. Which one do you think is the best? So
Absolutely.
maybe that would be empowering too.
That's a great conversation opener. Erik is talking about it. He says, listen, when you can come to a place where you can say, hey, I know you don't understand what to do. Here's, a couple of choices. Tell me what you think is the best. And that's the way you train them. That's how you train people.
Yeah. And then you show that you value their choice. Hey, that's a good idea,
Mom, that's a beautiful point.
I know, I think I channeled it from you, so don't give me any credit for it. Also, I've been binging on Super Nanny, that British nanny. I love it. Anyway, so, of course, almost always they have this big dry erase board, and they write out the different duties and times, etc. Okay, from so-and-so to so-and-so, you're going to make sure the kids clean up the toys, and from so-and-so to so-and-so, you're gonna make dinner, and, so having an actual rigid division of duties on a timeline, would that be helpful?
Absolutely, because Mom, people then know what to expect, which gives them security.
Yeah.
So when you're sure what's coming in, you know how to react to it or how to start to feel about it and communicate even better. Okay, today at 7 o'clock, I can't feed the dogs because I have an appointment. Can you cover that for me?
Oh, yeah.
Good. An amazing new conversation, way to communicate with people.
Yeah, but you can't say, hey, you were supposed to help to make the kids clean up their toys. What the hell? It's horrible. You can't beat them up about it. So what do you say?
So a gentle reminder,
Don't forget, honey.
Yes, because sometimes
a little bat, don't forget. 2x4
on the knee. He said.
Here's my dry erase board, if I had one, would be Elisa does this. In fact, my husband for 20 years was the president of the homeowners association. We get 7 little houses on our street, and I was the treasurer. Okay, he was a president by figurehead only because I did all of it, and he got all the glory. Kidding.
Yeah,
so yeah, but I like to work a lot, so that's probably why. He's good. He's an awesome dude.
It's very good. Yep, Mom. I forgot the question.
I don't think I had it. I just had.
I didn't forget.
I had a story to tell. Some lame story at that. Anything else you want to talk about as far as codependency is concerned, Erik? Before we close and talk about how people can reach Celestine.
Okay, the main thing and the last thing I just want to leave everybody on codependency is, that's the lesson you came from. You conquer that lesson by learning how to think and act and do for yourself, all the while being considerate within the relationship of who you're codependent with.
Awesome. Oh, there was one other question I just thought about. Oh my God. Lucas came into the room, so I kind of forgot. Wait, codependency. Oh, come in with that. Geez, it was a really important one. Oh yeah, I know. What if you are in a codependent situation that's so toxic that you have to leave? But say you're married to a doctor and the spouse puts you through medical school and they're stay-at-home mom or dad and they don't have any skills and they're so scared to leave because they're financially dependent on the other person. So what can you say to that situation? That's a scary situation, and it happens a lot.
Mom, it is scary to feel so unempowered that you are stuck exactly where you are in the same unhappy thing. That's an illusion as well. There are so many ways to get out of those, and that's not the problem.
So you just go find another sugar daddy or sugar mama, right? Okay.
Well, that's always an option, but Mom,
Yeah.
I mean, people feel isolated in that situation when they can go to so many different agencies. Go to the police and ask them. Go to a social worker. Whatever it is.
Why go to the police? Police for what?
We'll see. So, because so many people don't know what to do, the police will at least have some kind of options to offer. They know the services that are offered by the state and the county.
Okay.
They have a resource officer is what they're called,
Okay.
And if you have no other thing, you can just say, hey, I'm not quite sure what to do. Can somebody send me in the right? You're never, ever stuck. That's an illusion. And I'm not beating on anybody. I am not saying that you're wrong or anything like that. I'm trying to empower you to know that there's always a solution. Have faith in yourself.
Right, and have faith in the fact that there is abundance. And for women who are in a domestic abuse situation, sometimes they have a hard time leaving because of finances. But do the right thing. Love yourself, and know that you can make it happen. But that is a whole new topic. Exactly.
It is. That's a whole other situation in that case of abuse and why they stay there. It's a whole psychosis.
Yeah, that's true.
And it can be conquered if that's what you came to do and you want to get your lesson. Don't stand in your own way. Don't think it's impossible. That's what I want to tell you. Don't think it's impossible. Everything is possible.
That's true. Well, I put that down as a possible session in the future when we talk about women's rights and other women's related issues. But Celestine, tell us about you, how people can contact you.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Celestine Grace, and my website is divinemessages.love. And I do intuitive readings and coffee talk on YouTube. We do a whole bunch of stuff, but let me all tell you this. Erik was the start of everything.
Oh, wow.
Credit to Elisa and Erik. While I've always had this gift, Erik was the one that worked with me to develop it and just show me that he was there and continues to do so, and I'm very grateful.
That is awesome. Well, you should send me one of your Coffee Talk YouTubes.
Oh, I will.
I could post it up with this. Just
awesome.
One. And that way people can subscribe to your channel. Bye, Celestine. Thank you, Erik. I love you. Thank you, Celestine.
I love you, Mama.
Until the next time.
Thank you. And I will talk to you soon.
All right, sweetie. Bye. Have a good weekend.
You have a good weekend.
Thanks.